Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Harakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone at roll well, and Shalom to all the brothers doing the work sharing truth. Yeah, so they've essentially had a program for a while now called MAID, medical assistance in dying. And I think in the last 4-6 months to a year, it's been expanding. Well, probably for longer still, but that's kind of since I've been seeing they've been expanding on it to where previously it was offered to just those that are terminally dying, but then they added the only to those that are terminally dying, but they added to it as well people that are like broke and they might have some form of issue, but then it's like if they're too poor to to pay to support themselves where otherwise they would have been fine, then they'll just say like, hey, why don't you can just kill yourself, just dangle that in front of you, essentially pushing you towards it. And now according to this article, it's like they're trying to have it extended to kids, to youngsters, which just sounds fucking absolutely nutty. But this, we've seen the Georgia Guidestones. It says what maintained humanity, so like under 500 million. So to be to be getting the numbers down. Yeah. They're gonna have their means of doing so. So it says what top government panel recommends assisted suicide. For mature minors. Law could change as soon as this year. Critics slam a reckless proposal. Canada already has the world's most expansive program of assisted dying. Campaigners have slammed as reckless and horrible a plan by a Canadian parliamentary committee to expand the country's assisted suicide program to terminally sick children. Terminally sick children. They told Daily.com that the sick and disabled kids could soon be joining the roughly 10,000 adults who end their lives each year by state-sanctioned euthanasia and the world's most permissive such program. In its long-awaited report, the Special Joint Committee on Medical Assistance, on MAID, recommended that mature minors whose deaths were reasonably foreseeable could access assisted suicide even without parental consent, which is wild. So essentially the state can just decide to let you might have a 10-year-old that's got some terminal disease. They might even die in like 5, 10, 15 years. But then you can just be like, hey guys, by the way, you could just go to the 10-year-old and be like, hey, by the way, you could just kill yourself. Like, what the fuck? That shit is a mess. The parents ain't even in the room. I'm just saying, like, look, we can fucking, help you take yourself out. Like, what the fuck? But this is, it really is wild because it really shows the times we're in. So it says the report and its 23 recommendations will be discussed in the House of Commons in the coming months and could prompt revisions of Canada's existing dying laws as soon as a year. No, as soon as this year. I think it's horrible, said Amy Hasbrook, who campaigns against MAID in the group's Not Dead Yet. Teenagers are not in a good position to judge whether to commit suicide or not. Any teenagers with disability who's constantly told their life is useless and pitiful will be depressed, and of course they're going to want to die. Yeah, it's kind of wild. And then those are the numbers as well. Well, it's like, what, 6K in 2019? Almost 7.5K in 2020. And then, was it just over 10K, yeah? Kind of wild still. But Canada's been, they've been going ham with it. Cause why? Because they're they've got something. And that's the thing. It's like, it'll start off with getting to law by hook or by crook, and then as long as they have something there set up, they can then, you know, slowly work to expand its scope to cover more and more. Because it went from like terminally ill to, you know, you might have a certain difficulties in life, and then on top of that, you're broke. They might just be like, look, man, just take yourself out, bro. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great for everyone. Like, why do you want to, why do you want to hang around and suffer? It's funny because there was like leaked videos of them basically coercing people. Fucking funny. Funny as hell. Let me read this. Revelation 6 and 4, and it says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and it was given unto him a great sword. And yeah, that's Esau's role. That's his number one role. He's performing it spectacularly to what? Take peace from the earth, cause people to kill each other, man. That's why it's like now, even, offering kids suicide, and that's the thing as well, is starting with terminally ill, starting with, these variety of things, but then they'll kind of add on more and more justifications for later on being like, okay, so why don't we offer it to this group? Why not offer it to them? What about if you're homeless? What about if, you might have any kind of negative enough situation as to where, there might be difficulties in living life. They might just be like, okay, yeah, look, just you can take care of yourself. A lot of people are gonna fall for it. A lot of people are gonna basically indulge in it, because why people are depressed as fuck. And even like, you got a lot of people that bought into the saying that they don't want to have kids to save the environment. We have people be like, oh, I'm gonna take myself out just to help the planet out. Fucking nutcases, man. So Daniel 8 and 25, it says, and through his policy also, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but shall be broken without a hand. Yeah, so, it says what, through his policy, cause craft to prosper, yeah. So, through this policy, through having it where it's like, people can go and get themselves off. It might work in some way, they might have certain issues or whatever, but, people can get money forward and just wipe themselves out. kind of funny still. Money towards these things and work themselves out. Uh, uh, say Psalms 10 and stuff from 6 says, He hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privately set against the poor. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. Yeah, so this, these are the things that are in Esau's MO. What? The murder of the poor, the capturing of the innocent, man. These are the things that Esau specializes in. Because why? As far as with them, he's basically looking to prey on them because they're vulnerable. He croucheth and humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. You've said in his heart, the Most High have forgiven. His face, he will never see it. But yeah, that's complete opposite. With all these things Esau's doing, it's being added to the ledger, and having kids be able to decide like, hey, you wanna kill yourself. I won't tell your mom or your dad. You just the parents just come in, just be like, yo, where's the son at? And it's just like, oh yeah, she decided to kill himself. Like, it's fucking insane. Like, it doesn't make no fucking sense. But now, these are things that have, like, once the foot's in the door, comply the whole thing open. And that's what, we're witnessing. Because the scope just keeps expanding. But hey, that's how it goes with most of these aspects of Esau society, where he's slowly prying it open to, accept and eat. What as he's pushed these policies further and further, they resist less. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Shalom.